What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome to episode 8 of Foolcraft from the Peercraft server. I hope you all are having a great time. I'm just chilling over here getting these basic fusion injectors working up into draconic fusion injectors because the Chaos Dragon fight is coming sooner than I want, sooner than I'm ready for. So I'm just gonna, beef up everything. I've got my Wyvern armor over here. It's ready to go. I need to increase it to Draconic and get ready to fight because James has taken on the Chaos Dragon and failed miserably. If you were watching his stream, oh my god, I felt so bad for him. It's not funny because it was just such a pain to watch. And I'm hoping that we don't run into the same issue because we are going to take on the dragon and we're going to do it ourselves. We are going to make it so that we can prove you don't need to go in a group against the dragon. Now, it might sound a little weird, but that's not it's not a problem. I promise. I can do it. And if you guys believe me, then I don't know if you're actually paying attention to my videos or not. I probably will derp it up and it'll be fun. But for right now, the goal for today is not the Chaos Dragon. The goal for today is getting cows moved over from the Pill Popper over here to the island so that we can start collecting all of their fluids and making ingots and blocks out of them because it's time. It's time to do that, and I have to protect this cow because if he goes over there to the nether star generators, he'll die. So let's get over to the platform and start working with progressive automation. So for today's episode, we are going to go over this gem right here. This is going to be our barn. So we'll have the barn area right here. We'll have all our cows moved over from the Pill Popper and into a 2 or 3 tier barn. I don't know which yet, but this is the design. So on the surface, this is a very simple design. We'll start from bottom top. So we have a casting table here with, in this case, a gem cast or a gem mold, and the reason for this is going to be for our emerald cow. This ender fluid pipe pumps any emerald, liquid emerald, from here into the casting table where it will harden. Now we will have an item conduit here pulling the item out after it's cooled so that the process continues and continues and continues, but for right now we're not ready to put that in yet. Now, this is a very specific system. You place a bucket in here and give it power, and it will milk the cow, which in this case will be range 1, which I think I'll put them behind the farmer. I don't know. Well, I'll figure out design after the fact, but this is just the basic premise. So how the farmer works is it pulls the fluid from the cow and puts it into the bucket. The bucket then goes through these item conduits right here and empties the bucket into the fluid tank, which then does the casting. Once that's done, once it's emptied it sends it back up into the wooden animal farmer to collect the next bucket 5 minutes later. So if we were to do that over here, I don't even think he will work. Oh, good. So let's do this. We will wait. That's not right. I just collected a bucket. What's going on here? Interesting. Attempt number 2. All right, so the bucket goes in. It's pulled into here. Molten emerald is pumped in, and the bucket is now placed in there, ready to go. If you look down here in the casting table, We've got an emerald currently hardening. And once that's done, come on, then it can be collected. Ta-da! And it begins the process all over again. So that is the premise for what we're doing today. And I need to set up about 30 of them for sure, because if I remember correctly, we have over 40 cows over there. So yeah, we need to get started on this project. So there's been a tiny change in plan, and of course all plans should be fluid. Hold pause for effect. I didn't remember to take into account the fact that these cows need to be able to sit in these cells individually. The design I originally laid out was going to be them all next to each other, which means they won't stay in one place. So I'm just using this dirt as an outline to show... Oops, that doesn't belong there. What we're going to do here. So each cow will sit in their tiny cell, and we'll have glass going all the way around here. Just right there. Oops, that's too close. So yeah, there will be glass right there. So we'll get, oops. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, so 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 cows on this level. So it definitely looks like I'm going to be doing 3 levels. Now, because of this change in design, I can actually do a little bit of a different setup. So the pipes that come from the top can actually go between, come on, thank you, can actually go between these areas, and we can always make it so that they don't connect into these other fluid tanks, which is fine. That is exactly what we need. So let me get to that real quick, and we'll come back and see what the design looks like for the inside at least. Well, I've finished the internals, and you can see Wild already started working on her chicken coop using this redwood root, because that is what it looks like. The inside, at least. I haven't worked on the outside because I have another project I have to do. So let's just go over this real quickly. Each one of these animal farmers has an RF engine in it, which is powered by these capacitor banks, which I don't know if I want to change these to 5 million or not. I probably will, just to be safe. They're all in a one wide cell, with the glass being the second one. So I've got emerald, energetic alloy, gold, alumite, iron. You get the idea. This one's my favorite. High cobalt. I love blue. Anyways, so all of these guys are going in. Now I've got this triggered to where it will not charge up the animal farmers unless this switch is turned on. That way we don't end up filling the chest below, which I'll show you in a second. So let's kick this on for a good, I don't know, minute or so. It'll charge up the RF in these animal farmers. As you can see, this one's already almost there. That one's there. So it'll charge those up. And when they're milking, you can see over here, it just pumps the fluids into these casting tables. So I've got the emerald one right here. All these ingot ones. I decided to just go ahead and do one ingot table for each one, just to avoid any issues in the future. And let's go turn that off real quick, because I don't want it to keep running after I check this chest. So if we look in here, you can see all of the ingots that we already have. Lots of demon ingots, lead ingots, iron, pulsating iron. All of this stuff is going to be good for us except for maybe, well, no. We will eventually use all of these ingots in some form or another. I had to stop on the outside though. I'm number one, I'm not really fully happy with this, and I really don't want to get into chisel and bits on this, but that's fine. But the reason I have to stop is because we're having issues with refined storage and the colossal chests. So I had cleared out the colossal chests using the grid of all liquid XP buckets. And I came down here and I was scrolling down through these chests and I found more buckets. In fact, that one should not be... Oh, I know why. Never mind. That makes sense why it popped in there. Okay. Oops. Why is this not in my bubbles? So, I need to actually remove this from the refined storage in a bit. So I was running through this chest right here, and I found liquid XP buckets after I had just cleared it out of the system. So for some reason, the grid was not recognizing some of these colossal chests. So I'm done with them. I'm not going to do them. Not for the giant refined storage that we're doing here, especially not with this setup right here. Instead, we're going to go full on refined storage with a disk array. And you can see I've already started getting ready for this change. So I've added a pattern grid and a crafter. So the pattern grid allows you to create something, say, I don't know, let's go with a bow. Or, well, we'll say it's a bow. So we'll grab some sticks. Oops. Let's try that again. Sticks and string. And now you can click the create pattern and it'll take one of these patterns and make a pattern for you. You can't actually craft anything in here. It's strictly for patterns. And then you put the patterns in here. So if I hold shift, you can see I've already started doing some of my draconic stuff in here. So we're going to need a lot of crafters. I'm going to separate it out to draconic stuff, to capacitors, to ingots, stuff like that, so that I don't have to worry about how this is all set up. But it's going to be a massive setup, and James was nice enough to provide this baby right here, a 64K storage disk. Now, we've got some storage parts in our system. I will have to make a lot more. Let's do storage parts. So you can say we have 1K storage parts right here. I think we have a 4K somewhere. Oh, where did it go? Interesting. I had made one. I don't know where it went to. So we're going to be building a disk drive. We're going to be storing everything from those chests into it. And that's what we need to get working on right now, because I can't keep losing items the way I am with refined storage. So I just had the best experience ever. Yes, that's sarcasm. I'm sorry. I can't help myself. I emptied this chest over here. All went well because, you know, it was empty. Removed it. It's no longer here. Came over here. Took out this chest using the Z button, which should default sort everything. But if you notice down here, I didn't pay attention to this. It failed to sort container null. What happened is I sorted it. It looked empty to me, but it wasn't empty. So I broke it. Okay, cool. Everything's broke. That's fine. Then I broke the chest interfaces. Nothing. And I broke the core. Items spewed out all over the floor. And I ended up with 1 FPS. I spent the last 5 minutes just moving everything into this chest. That was a pain. Oh my god, that was such a pain. And I thought that this was an empty one too. I was gonna, close out that one, but these seem to be full. Oh, this one could have had some. That's fine. But yeah, this is the start of disk space, and I'm off to a great start already. Okay, so to start the process, I need to take these away because we're going to use these two things, and we're going to have a couple more. Well, we'll have this one, and we'll have a couple more of those crafters down here. This is going to be our workspace, and the chickens will be going away, so this won't be a much of a problem. So we'll start off right here. And what we're going to do is we're going to put up a pattern grid. We need some blocks. Let's use some SNAD. Yeah, we want the pattern grid to be right there. So once we get this all hooked up, this thing will allow us to come down here, and we'll have one on either side of this controller, and set up patterns for these crafters, which will have, I guess, a stack of 3 here, another one on top, and a stack of 3 there. So let's do this. Let's hook this up right now. Get a cable. There we go. That's the pattern. Now it's not hooking up the crafter because I didn't bring enough cables, but that's fine. Let's make some cables. Oops, cable. We've got plenty of this stuff, and we'll need more of it because right now we're not using cable. Let's grab those. All right, and now we need disk drives. Oops. So what we need to do is we need to get some chests, some advanced processors, and some machine casings. And I want to say we'll want 2 on each side. They should hold 8 disks if I'm correct. So let's do chest. So we're going to do 2 on each side. Oops. Means I need 4. We need machine casings, which I have 1 right here. So we need to make 1, 2, 3. Perfect. And then we need advanced processors. 1, 2, 3, 4. And as you can tell, I kind of started work on this earlier. The reason for that is I knew I was going to need it. But the goal is going to be to make it so that the solderer, which did all that, is automated as well, so that when we need processors, we don't have to craft them like I am doing right now. So let's get these storage disks created. I have to go back over there. All right, so casing, chest, and processor. Now you can notice I've got some speed upgrades here to make this faster. We'll need to make more of these. We'll need to make some upgrades to make the whole system run properly. Now, my initial hesitation on using refined storage is that I've heard a lot of issues with it on multiplayer servers. And I don't know if that's because of the way they're configured for those mod packs, or if it's just, you know, plain dumb luck that you store something bad in there and everything just breaks. So I really don't want to run into that problem, especially not on this server, because I really like all the people on this server. So the fewer problems that we run into, the better it is for all of us. And then we'll just put those there for now. Do some cabling. Sorry, torch. That should do. In fact, we can take care of that cable right there. So I didn't want to start off with refined storage because that would, in my opinion, just cause a bunch of lag. And we don't want that. We want everyone to have a good time on the server. So it was a necessary evil to switch to colossal storage using refined storage as the setup, but the admin has assured me that for the most part, until it got ridiculous, like, I don't know, 128K storage or something like that, there weren't any issues with the storage system. So that's great. That's perfect. I will take his word for it, and we'll just start using this system. So let's insert this disk in there. Now we have 64K. And we'll add some more. We'll spread them out across the drives. I think I'll put another 64K part over there, and then two 16Ks in these bottom ones. I don't think I need more than 64K, but then again, I also don't know how much storage this thing uses. Actually, we can cheat. Let's come over here. Pro tip. Okay, yeah, we're using 137K there. 118. Let's get a calculator going. 390K, and we need room for expansion. That's unfortunate. So what we might do, I have to try and figure something out. So we'll definitely need a couple more 64K drives. If we do divide 64, just for what we have right now, we need 6 drives. So I guess I will go 8 drives for now, 8 64K drives, and see what happens here, because that's a lot of drives. I do have to start off by saying this this crafter right here is awesome, because yeah, I'm able to spread out my tasks a little better with these patterns. And I want to make sure I'm doing this properly. So we need more 64K storage disks. So if you notice, I've added a machine casing and quartz enriched iron. These things use a ton of quartz enriched iron, and I have a hard time keeping up with it. So by automating it, it's going to make it go faster. And right now I'm getting machine casings made up because we need them for the other crafters that we're going to make. All right, so the next step in the process is to automate this solderer, because we need to have everything set up for these cores and destruction stuff, and it gets really annoying to wait for these things. So what we need to do is we need to break this, and we need to take that, and what's going to happen is the crafter, we need to make a crafter, which I need a chest. You know, we'll just make 4 crafters. Chest and advanced processors. Let's take the lot of them. 1, 2, 3, 4. 4. 4. And then we can look up, while that's going on, we can look up importer. There we go. So we need a destruction core and an improved processor. These are the things that really get annoying when you're talking creation, because they require you to do basic processors and all that fun stuff. Like this improved processor, I think I should have some improved. Let's see. Yeah, there we go. I can do those. And then basic processors I'm out of. Redstone, printed silicon. Yeah. So, oh no. I derped. That's disk drives. We don't need disk drives. We need crafters. Yeah, I need more quartz enriched iron. Let's just get that crafting. We'll do 64. Get that running. Yeah. I thought I was bright here. Can't get away from derping. Now that we're getting to this setup, what we need to do is we need to automate the solderers. I've got one already set up here to be automated, and I'll get that running. I need to get some crafters done, but I'm looking at the time for this episode, and I'm kind of concerned that I'm not going to be able to keep the rest of this on. So, what we're going to do here is I'm going to keep doing this off camera, and we'll come back in the next episode, and I'll show you what's gone on, how we've got this set up. All the basics are already here. So we use importers to bring the items into the system. We use the disk drives to hold the items. And hopefully by the time you next see this area, these colossal chests are gone. Now, that's not to say that these colossal chests will not be used, because both Wild and I are going to have our own private storage. So we'll each take one of these diamond colossal chests in our own bases for our own storage of stuff, because at some point we're going to branch off and do our own thing. This will be just, community stuff if we need it, and then anything that we get, like, say, Hermitrons, those will all go into our own storage units. But that is it for this episode, and until the next one, I hope you guys have a great time. If you like the video, hit the like button. And again, if you want to see more, hit the subscribe button. I appreciate all the support you guys have given me. And I hope to see all of your smiling faces in the next one. So, until then, take care, everyone.